Yes, okay, thank you. Very good, thank you. Hi, this is Marilyn, and I want to welcome you to the noontime recap of our morning trades. This is September the 22nd, and we had some very good opportunities today. So I know there's been a couple of things. Leah has posted some excellent charts. So if you didn't retrieve those, just scroll back up to where they are, and they're very good, particularly for studying purposes. This is not all that difficult once you start to see, and boy, she's done an excellent job of finding these entries and then staying in and managing her trades. So that's going to be real helpful to people trying to figure this out. I wanted to point out a couple things. The 30-minute candle chart on crude oil has been a little difficult, but when you get one of these right here, this is I think about 9 o'clock, where this pushed all the way up. This candle was green on its way up, went right to the ICE midline, and then put this long wick up. That is a very good indication that you have downward. And when we look at our apex chart, that's exactly what we had, is this downward push with a perfect red P and a red E, and it formed right off of the power line from the previous P. So an entry right here about 4610, 46. If you missed that, the bottom of the bottom of the E bar, the bottom of the P bar. If you missed that, the entry could be at this deviation level, which is exactly where the EMA crossed. So there's a number of things that you could have taken. You could have taken it at the magnet or at the ICE, but then you're looking for, okay, now where will it go and how much reward is going to be possible for me to get out of this if I took it. Well, the first place I would be looking for this to stop, and it can go lower, which it did, but if you look at this green institutional volume zone right here, these candles, especially on this new shadow bar bars, they really like to go to that and form off of those. So pay attention to those, and certainly from the ICE to the deviation was a little bit of a no-brainer trade right there. This kind of stuff right in here I do not like at all, and what you're seeing, let me get my, I keep forgetting the pointer and the crosshair. What you're seeing right here, this is what I call bad guy country. I do not like this deviation, making this kind of, I don't know what these things are, but they kind of look like the rocks on the mountain that the bad guys hide behind to ambush you, and that bus driver will certainly, I mean, this is, people want to know, well, how do I spot chop? Well, this is a real good way to spot chop. 11 o'clock on the 6 tick is a little bit easier to see, but when you start getting all these failed E's, that's a sign of indecision in the market. So don't fall. Whoops. So don't fall for that stuff. But what do we talk about? The third try, it went through. Let me move this. That's my doorbell. This power line right here, it went through it once, but then here's 1, 2, and the third test, and it pushed right off of it. So sometimes stopping and counting to 3 can help find these trades also. There's a couple things I wanted to point out to you that we all need to start watching. This particular kind of a bar puts down a short little wick right here. This is off of the ice at about 10 o'clock. I have noticed this especially on TF, and I'm watching for it on crude oil. Sometimes it's a little easier to see, but there was a classic example of it on TF this morning where one tick below the EMA, here's one right here. This is really worth paying attention to. Do you see how this wick went up here and it went one tick above this EMA? That, in my view, which this is my view, by the way, is that's somebody taking out the stops right there, because there had been, if you were short in this trade and you were going down, 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 you get down here to a point, and as it comes through here and you're trailing your stop, using the EMA for a trailing stop would be a very good idea. And I would suggest that you keep your stop a good 2 ticks above the EMA going in either direction, because that's a common place for stops to be located. And that can avoid that frustration of having your stop taken out by 1 tick, and then off it goes in your direction. And boy, that's the time you'd just like to jerk that bus driver out of the bus and smack him one. Or at least I would. Don't know about you, but that's my response to that awful treatment. Anyway, it looks like Brent might be trying to go a little higher. I don't think that would break anybody's heart. And this chop is pretty difficult to trade. The good news is that the trends have held. So this is a time when I find the 6 tick is easier to work with. I do not like this stuff right in here, but fortunately it comes around these major streets. This is just unusual. I find right here it didn't do it. The VIX is inching its way up a little bit, but not significantly. The currencies seem to be trending down, except for the dollar. And bonds have had a nice trend up today. Those of you who trade bonds have probably had a nice time. Commodities, I've been watching to see if they want to bounce up, but they don't show that inclination today. And other than that, I don't see anything earth-shattering. I would remind you again, if you missed yesterday, to be sure, if you are especially we have NQ traders in here, be sure you pay attention to getting out of your NQ trades if you're trading futures by 4 o'clock instead of 4:15. So that's something to keep in mind. So with that, I will shut this off until 2:30, and we'll see if the afternoon was kind to us. I'm surprised these trends have been this easy when we have had so much chop here. So we'll see what happens this afternoon. But this has been my view from my world in Apex land, and it's brought to you by Apex Investing.